What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So ever since the beginning, catching every single Pokemon out there has always been a challenge, no matter how good of a Pokemon trainer you are. Many can claim that they've completed the Pokedex, and some are even ambitious enough to try and catch every shiny Pokemon. But there are some very specific Pokemon out there that are so insanely rare that you might as well not even try. The following Pokemon I'm going to be talking about here are all being discussed in terms of actually catching them yourself, so we're not talking about just obtaining them through some other method like trade or something like that. Additionally, these Pokemon are not being talked about in the general sense. We're talking about very specific versions of these Pokemon being caught under certain conditions, as will be explained throughout the video. So with all that being said, why don't we go ahead and just dive right in. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about here is a more traditionally rare Pokemon, but you might not know just how ridiculously rare it is, and that would be a full odds shiny female Combbe caught in Diamond and Pearl. Now, the appeal of getting a female Combbe is obviously that it's what you need to get a Vespiquen, and having it be shiny is just that much cooler, but getting a shiny female Combbe that is full odds in the Diamond and Pearl games is going to be extremely hard because they are insanely rare. To start off with a couple numbers, we obviously have the shiny chance in Generation 4, which is a 1 out of 8,192 chance to get a shiny. However, we want a shiny female Combbe, and female Combes only appear 12.5% of the time because of Combbe's gender ratio, meaning you've got to divide that 1 out of 8,192 chance by 8 because you're only going to see a female Combbe 1/8 of the time. So after making these calculations, which by the way, I just want to say as a disclaimer, I'm pretty sure all my calculations are right, but it is math, so if I get something slightly off, please don't roast me because this is just for fun. We get a 1 in 65,550 chance of getting a shiny female Combbe, which already is not looking very good. However, on top of this, just to make things even worse, we also have the honey tree factor in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the only way you can encounter a Combbe is to encounter it in a honey tree after you've slathered honey on it. However, this can be a little bit tricky because in order to do this, in order to even encounter a Pokemon on a honey tree, you've got to place honey on the honey tree and then wait 6 real-time hours before a Pokemon will even pop up. And obviously, when it comes to waiting real amounts of time, it's possible that you might forget. So if we assume that you forget to check the tree after 6 hours, say 10% of the time, this is going to up the odds by another 10%, putting us at a grand total of 1 out of 72,105. However, if you can believe it, it gets even worse because we haven't even factored in Combbe's encounter rate yet. In Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, Combbe has anywhere from a 22% to a 32% encounter rate on the honey trees. So if we average this out to 25% just to make the math easy, it gives us a grand total of a 1 in 263,000 chance of getting a full odds shiny female Combbe in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. To put this in perspective, the odds of dying via legal execution are 1 in 127,717, meaning you are over twice as likely to be legally executed than to find a full odds shiny female Combbe in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. Moving on, we actually have another Pokemon of a very similar variety, and that would be a shiny female Salandit with its hidden ability. Now, Salandit is very much the same situation as Combbe because you need a female one in order to get its evolution in Salazzle. And obviously, a shiny version would just be that much better, and since we're talking Generation 7, it has a hidden ability, so just to make the odds that much cooler and to make the Pokemon that much cooler, we're gonna want one with a hidden ability as well. So starting things off with the shiny odds, we've got a 1 in 4,096 chance to land a shiny, because in Generation 7, they have the odds from 8,192 to 4,096. However, once again, we're going to divide this by 8 because of the 1/8 chance of getting a shiny, because once again, Salandit can only be found in its female form 12.5% of the time. This puts our odds at getting a shiny female Salandit currently at 1 in 33,000, but it's going to get a little trickier from here, so I suggest you pay close attention. From here, we can actually quadruple the odds because Salandit on average has a 25% encounter rate. However, this is actually going to be completely nullified by the fact that when you chain an SOS Salandit, if we assume the highest chain, it's actually going to bring your odds of a shiny down to 1 in 1,024, which is 1/4 lower than it actually was, meaning this all gets canceled out and we still end up with a 1 in 33,000 chance of nailing a Salandit, even with the 25% encounter rate. In order to get the hidden ability on Salandit, you have to also SOS chain just like you're using to get the better shiny chance. So if we use that same SOS chain, which is the highest possible chain that gives us the best chance to get the hidden ability, we will have a 15% chance of getting that hidden ability Salandit, which is roughly a 1 in 6.5 chance. So if we take our current 1 out of 33,000 odds and divide it by the 1 out of 6.5% chance that it takes to add that hidden ability on top, it gives us a grand total of a 1 in 215,000 chance of getting a shiny female Salandit with its hidden ability at full odds. Once again, to put this in perspective, there is apparently a giant asteroid that, according to NASA and USA Today, is going to fly by Earth in the year 2032 and has a 1 in 63,000 chance of hitting Earth, meaning that this asteroid is 3 times more likely to demolish Earth in the year 2032 than you are to get a shiny female Salandit with its hidden ability at full odds. Good luck. Next up, if you can believe it, we actually have a version of one of the most common Pokemon of all time, and that would be a full odds shiny Zubat on Route 32 in Gold and Silver. Now, the reason why I say Route 32 in Gold and Silver specifically is because on this particular route, Zubat only has a 1% encounter rate, ironically enough, in the morning, which makes it that much more hard to get, which just makes it that much more cool and appropriate for this video. The other thing that makes this Zubat that much harder to get is that it can only be found on this route in the morning, so it's 1% of the time you can find it, but only 1/3 of the day that you can only find it that 1% of the time. So if you decide you want to nab yourself the rarest of all Zubats, here are the odds you're going to be working with. First, we've got to look at the shiny odds, which once again are back to 1 in 8,192 since we're working in Gold and Silver. Next, we actually have to divide this number by 100 because Zubat only has a 1% encounter rate on this route in the morning, meaning you're only going to find it 1 out of every 100 times. And this brings the grand total of a shiny Zubat on this particular route at 1 in 820,000. However, while not necessarily required, if we want to have a little bit more fun with this, we can actually take into account the morning factor as well. Like I said earlier, Zubat is only going to appear on this route in the morning, meaning you're going to have a limited amount of time in the day that you can actually obtain it. And much like the honey tree with Combbe, it's reasonable to think that you might miss this window of opportunity roughly 10% of the time, which is going to bump your odds up another 10%, which means the grand total, assuming the morning factor, of getting a full odd shiny Zubat on this particular route in Gold and Silver is going to be at 1 in 902,000. Next up is a fairly infamous one, but it's the one out of all of these that I can pretty much say is going to be impossible for you to do, and that is obtaining 2 shiny Spindas with the same exact spot pattern. As you might know, the odds of getting 2 Spinda with the same spot pattern are over 1 in 4 billion, and to be precise, it's 1 in 4,294,967,295. And with the same equation as the other Pokemon, if we divide this number by 8,192 for the regular standard shiny odds, this gives us a 1 in 37 trillion chance of getting 2 Spindas that are shiny with the same spot pattern at full odds, which means, yeah, you are basically going to live and die about 100 times before you pull this off. Sorry. And this last one is a little bit of a different sort of scenario than the other ones, but it's still very, very rare nonetheless, and that would be an authentic ocean pattern shiny Vivillon. Ocean pattern Vivillon can be found in Hawaii as well as the French-governed island of Reunion, which have a total population of about 2.2 million, which is only 3% of the total world's population, meaning that only 3% of the world has native access to it. And while yes, you could technically change the location on your 3DS to match that of the location of the ocean pattern Vivillon, that's basically GPS spoofing, and that's why I bring up the term authentic, because for it to be authentic, you obviously need to go there and catch it, because that's the whole point of distributing these different patterns of Vivillon in different locations of the world. On top of that, you could obviously go on vacation to one of these places and catch it then and have it be authentic, but then you've got the shiny odds stacked against you, which even in Generation 6, which they're only the 1 in 4,096 odds, you're still gonna take a little bit of time to get that, and by the time you are able to get a shiny Vivillon, your vacation might be up, and you might not be in these locations long enough to actually be able to see a shiny. Another thing that's tricky about this one is that there's no real way to say that you didn't just trade yourself an Ocean Pattern Vivillon or GPS spoof it, but if you can honestly say, honestly to yourself, that you have caught an authentic Ocean Pattern Vivillon, doing it the right way like I've described, you can feel proud in knowing that you have caught one of the rarest Pokemon in existence. And there we have it, everybody. Now, it's completely crazy to think about that some Pokemon can be so insanely rare that you're more likely to die or get struck by lightning than actually catch them. If you guys enjoyed the video though, be sure to give it a like because it really helps out, and let me know down in the comments below if by some miracle you've actually caught one of these, or if you feel like you want to take on the challenge yourself. Also, I feel like it would be really fun to do a part 2 to this video if this one does well enough, so let me know if that's something you'd like to see, and if it is something you'd like to see, be sure to promote this video, share it with your friends, so we can get a following behind it, which will actually make it so I can actually do a part 2. Also, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for way more Pokemon content. I post videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, so it's definitely a fun time over here. And if you haven't yet, follow me on Spotify for my Pokemon remixes, because we're actually going to be doing a Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee giveaway over there when the games come out, if we can hit 1,500 followers, and I would just really appreciate it. And obviously, Pokemon music is never a bad thing to have. With all that being said though, I will be back on Tuesday for another video, so hit that notification bell so you can know when it goes live. And until then, as always, I will smell you guys later.